Well, Easter is over and spring is finally starting to show up in my neck of the woods. In our house, there's a few Japanese sweet treats that we like to make in the springtime. But before we do that, we need one specific ingredient. And I'm going to show you how to make that today. Everybody, my name is Tim, I am the Dizzy Daddy, and today, like I said earlier, we have a special ingredient to make. And that ingredient comes from something that is very important not only in Japanese sweet treats, but in a lot of Asian desserts as well. And that is this, red beans, or as we like to call them, azuki. And what we're going to make with these little guys is something called Anko. I know, it's not the most attractive name, but it tastes good. There's two different types of Anko, tsubu-an and koshi-an. Tsubu-an means that there's little bits, or tsubu, still in it, and then koshi-an is Anko that's been smoothed out and had all the skins and all the sort of fibrous stuff taken out of it, and it's really smooth. Now each one has its place and each one is used in different desserts, but the one that's a little bit more used, it seems, is koshi-an, the smoother one. The problem is it's kind of a pain in the neck to make. So I'm going to do a quick variety today that kind of takes both of them and mushes them together. So it's kind of like tsubu-an that's been forcefully turned into koshi-an. No game planning needed for this one. All you need are beans and sugar. I'm going to take a nice big pot like this, and this is 1 cup of red beans, and you can get these in any Asian supermarket, and I've sorted through them for kind of the crummy ones. Sometimes there's some shriveled ones or the odd like rock in there, so you want to sort through those. So 1 cup of these, the sugar, 3/4 of a cup, but that's not going in until later. So for now, we're going to turn this up on high and pour water in. How much water? Just lots of it. The skins have a sort of bitter or astringent taste in them, and we want to get rid of that as much as possible. So what we do is we boil it in a large amount of water, bring it up to a boil, and then you discard that water. And then you can do it 2 times, 3 times. We usually don't bother and just do it once, but today I'll do it twice. And yep, they are boiling away. So I'm gonna drain these and then we'll do it again. Okay, those have been drained. Back in they go. We have finished boil number 2. I spared you that. There's not really a whole lot to see there. Okay, so those have been boiled a couple times. They've had the bitter taste taken out of the skins. And now what we're gonna do is we're going to boil them up and get them soft. What you're looking for is you want to hold one of these in your hand and you want to easily mash it. Takes about 1.5 hours, but give it a check at 1 hour just in case. Now these are going to swell up a bit, but we're going to start with just enough to cover them, almost like you're cooking rice. They're just a little bit above the surface. And as you go along, depending on how many times you boiled them, if you only boiled them once, then there's a possibility that scum, sort of like when you're making soup, well, to a lesser extent that can happen with the red beans, so then you just take one of these or a spoon or a slotted spoon, something, and you just skim that off. So I'm just going to cover these and boil them on a medium heat. I'm going to check once in a while for scum. I'm going to check once in a while that the water level is still decent. The beans, it doesn't have to be this high, but they do need to be covered. So as they swell, you might want to adjust and pour little bits of water in there. We'll see you in a little bit. Welcome back. It's been about 1 hour. Let's have a look, and look at that. Now because I double boiled them, not a lot of scum actually appeared. So I didn't have to skim it too much, but I did adjust the water level a couple times because they did swell up a bit. So as you can see, they are just covered. And let's have a look here. So I'll grab a couple of these and we'll just do the smush test. So let's try. There's still some particles, like it still feels hard. When you mash that thing, you want to feel like it's completely mush. So I'm gonna go for another 20 minutes or so. I have been periodically topping up the water, and let's have a look. Okay, let's try the crush test. Yeah, ow! Jeez. Yep, that is mushy. This is the point at which, if you're making koshian, which is the smooth anko or smooth red bean paste, where you now sieve it and squeeze it and maybe put it in muslin and do all kinds of stuff to separate the skins. People nowadays, if they're just making it for themselves, of course if I was making this for someone and it was a special occasion, I'd go through all those steps. But if you're just eating it because you want to enjoy it in your own home, then the best thing to do is to blitz it in a food processor. Now, there isn't a whole ton of liquid in here anymore, but I am going to just pour out a little of it. I am going to keep it to the side so that while we're blitzing this up, if it needs a little bit more water just to make it more pasty, creamy kind of thing, then we have it. So, yep, that should do it. And the rest can go in our food processor. Ooh, not bad. Not bad. I'm just gonna put about maybe a tablespoon in there. Okay, let's get back on the heat. Okay, and it goes. I'm gonna put it up to about medium heat here. I'm gonna add a little bit more of that water that we still had left over. And now, finally, 3/4 of a cup sugar. And we'll just keep working this on medium heat until it starts to stiffen up, just shy of where we want it. And where we want it is sort of almost like a loose Play-Doh, right? But we don't want it to get to that consistency here, because with all the sugar in it, it might still be a little bit loose while it's warm, but once it cools down, it hardens up right away. So we're just gonna work it and get it just shy of that. That'll take about, 5 minutes. And stir it fairly continuously at this time. You don't really want it to burn. There we go. Now, when you can, kind of like making the sauce, when you can run your spoon through there and see the bottom, then we're just about right. And I'll transfer it to this container, glass container, which will then go in the fridge, and then this will keep a good week, or you can freeze it. And there we go. Like I said, this is still a little bit loose, but you want that. You want to keep that just a little bit south of where we eventually want to be, because it is going to harden up. I'll let that cool to room temperature, and then we'll put it into the fridge. I can't help myself. And still warm. Now, the reason why I made the Anko today is because I've got some desserts coming up that I'd like to share with you, but they need this. But it tastes awesome on ice cream too. I'm actually a little bit lactose intolerant, but I don't care. Don't worry, I took my pills. And there you have it, Japanese sweet red bean paste, or Anko. This stuff is used in tons of different recipes in different shapes and forms. There's just countless ways you can use it. If you like sweet red beans, it's not for everyone, I understand that. But if you do like it, there's nothing quite like it. If you did like this video, please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll know anytime I upload a new video, and hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. Thanks for dropping by. I always enjoy having you here, and I'll have something for you next time. Take care.